2 oil tankers off Iraq were hit, and Oman has ordered its port outside the Strait of Hormuz to be cleared. What does this mean then for supplies coming out of the Gulf?
It shows that Iran is making a concerted effort to impact the export of oil out of the whole region. It seems to have stepped up attacks on ships inside the Persian Gulf. These ships in Iraq are at the north of the Persian Gulf, so a lot away from the Strait of Hormuz. So the effort is against shipping through that whole area. And then separately, we've had this incident in Oman. Oman is not one of the biggest oil suppliers in the region, but a significant oil supplier. But importantly, it lies outside the Persian Gulf. So here you have Iran trying to impact supplies even outside the Strait of Hormuz. The big picture here is all of this means that the Strait of Hormuz is firmly closed, and that will be of huge concern to energy traders globally. Some of that impact has been offset in 2 ways. The announcement of this big stockpile release that we had yesterday from the IEA, and we got more details about what the US is going to do there overnight. And it's also being offset by the ability of Saudi Arabia to export from the Red Sea. But the longer that goes on, these will not be enough, and concern will re-emerge about how much oil production and exports we're losing, and we may see prices ratchet higher again.
On the action by the IEA, as you say, it seems to have been reversed, at least the price move, based on what's been happening since then in terms of the attacks in the region. Does this mean that the IEA will have to go, or rather the countries holding strategic reserves will have to release more? Can they do more?
I don't think we're there yet. There will, of course, be a concern that stockpiles, emergency stockpiles, are finite, and you don't know how long this crisis is going to go on. You don't know what else is coming at you. So there may be a reluctance to do too much too quickly because you don't want to use up all the stockpiles. So I don't think we're there at the moment. The priority will very much be on trying to find a way to get the Strait of Hormuz over, and the oil market may bring some fresh thinking in the Trump administration about when and how that's going to happen. One other notable thing that we saw today, Stephen, is that China further restricted the exports of fuel from its refineries, jet fuel, diesel, gasoline, etc. And that shows that the impact on a country like China is real, even though China has some of the largest strategic oil reserves in the world.
Yeah, and has been building those up for many months, as we have reported. I think there's also another word to mention, though, hoarding. I noticed that Carlisle's Jeff Curry talked about that as he discussed this with Bloomberg only yesterday. Keep hoarding down. That perhaps is the worry, as we're also seeing many people try to game out scenarios for where the oil price might peak now.
This is always a problem at these times. The natural thing to do, if you read the news, whether you're a company, whether you're a driver, whether you're a homeowner who heats your house with heating fuel, is to think, well, I should get ahead of this, I should fill up my tanks. And that's rational on an individual basis. But of course, if everyone tries to do that at the same time, you create a rush, straining what are very complex and precise supply chains and sucking out inventories, and that can cause its own problems even though supply is ample. So that will be something to watch, and that's something a concern. Just anecdotally, you hear here in the UK that people are filling their heating tanks even though it's the end of winter before prices go up, and it's very hard to find that heating oil, and prices have more than doubled in some places. So it can be a really real thing both at the micro level and at the slightly more macro level.